Hi folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, got a bit of imposter syndrome going on here. I'm somewhere dead posh. Over my shoulder there, you can see the entrance to the Dorchester, one of the most famous hotels, not just in London, but in the whole world. This is where you find Hollywood royalty hanging out. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton used to stay here. They do quite a lot of interviews with film stars when they're coming over promoting their films in this hotel, so you never know. We might bump into someone famous. Or they might bump into someone famous. Maybe not, eh? So, why am I here? Well, there are lots of restaurants inside here. There's a 3 Michelin starred Alain Ducasse place. Touch out of my price range. But one of the restaurants in there is called The Grill. Head chef, a guy called Tom Booton, who is actually the youngest ever head chef in the Dorchester Hotel. And they've got a lunch menu, 3 courses for less than £50. In the Dorchester! As far as I'm aware, last time I checked anyway, it was £45 for 3 courses. Of course, there'll be drinks, there'll be service charges. It's going to bump it up a bit, but I still think that's really good value to eat lunch in a place like this. Let's go check it out. Right, folks, I've come in and I've been seated, and I've got to say, this place just feels opulent. Got this nice gold kind of coloured decoration behind, beautiful leather seating here. As always, I've been tucked up in the corner. Not going to get any of the other customers in or the staff, so if I get in the corner, that's fine, isn't it? This room's got a beautiful big chandelier in the middle, gorgeous ceilings, a lovely bar area. It's really, really kind of plush, as you'd expect in a place like the Dorchester, of course. Now, I'm here at lunchtime. There are 2 different menus available here. There is the regular a la carte menu, which I will show you on screen. Lots of different interesting options there, grill options, different mains like chicken chasseur. Nice looking menu. We're not going for that though, because we're looking for the bargain, aren't we? This here is the set lunch menu. Now, this has 3 courses for £45. I was right. There are 2 choices of starter. The mains, there is a poached cod and clam chowder with leeks, or there is a chicken chasseur dish with tomato and the dreaded mushrooms. And desserts, there is a rhubarb dessert, rhubarb and custard soft serve with tarragon and rhubarb pie. Got myself a nice glass of sparkling water, well, a bottle of sparkling water that's probably going to cost me £1,000. But you only live once, don't you? So I'm going to sit back and enjoy this beautiful room and get my order in. Yes, thank you. I'd like to go with the lunch menu, if I may. If I could take the pork cheek to start, and the chowder as the main, please.
Would you like to order your dessert now?
Do you know what? I will.
Absolutely.
Because it's definitely going to be the rhubarb one.
Excellent. Would you like any side with your main?
I don't think any of the sides particularly lend themselves to the chowder, do they? So,
No, but I think the grilled chips are a must try for me.
do you know what? Go on then. Put some chips on there.
They're done over 3 days. People say that.
Right.
We say they're 3-day chips, but
Okay.
people think that means they're like cooked for 3 days.
Yeah, it's just the process, is it?
Yeah, it just.
As we heard there, the order is in. I have gone with the pork cheek starter with lentils and celeriac, poached cod and clam chowder for the main. I was talked into trying the Grill's chips with watercress mayonnaise. Now that's an extra £10. And I wasn't going to go for it, but the guy talked me into it because they sound incredible. Apparently it's a 3-day process to make these chips. These are not ordinary chips. It's almost, it sounds to me anyway, a bit like a sort of pressed dauphinoise, so then chilled down, sliced into chip shapes and deep fried. I mean, that sounds immense. I'm not going to turn something like that down, even if it does cost me an extra tenner. Anyway, as I was saying before, I'm just going to sit back, enjoy this room. It is beautiful. It really is beautiful. You know what? Sometimes with this job, you just have to sit and appreciate how lucky I am. And that's all down to you guys watching. So thank you very much. You're putting me in places like this. Right then folks, my starter course has arrived and it's a very delicate, pretty looking plate. We have the pork cheek, we have lentils, we have celeriac. I'm guessing that's kind of like a celeriac kind of sauce, foam, puree kind of thing underneath too. And maybe a little bit of pickled celeriac in there and some herbs on there. It looks as pretty as a picture. So here we go, we have the lentils here. I think that's some celeriac with celeriac puree. And here is the pork cheek, so look at how this pulls away. Oh yes, that is what I'm talking about. Nice and gooey and unctuous. I am looking forward to trying this. So here we go folks, my first taste of food in the Dorchester. Not the kind of place I generally hang out, it has to be said. We're going to go just with this pork first and taste that. That is so soft, but such an intense flavour to it. Wow. That is incredible. I don't know what they've glazed it with, but there's something that kind of gives it a really kind of umami kind of vibe. So it kind of almost verges on the bitter on the outside, but the meat itself is relatively sweet, really soft and juicy. God, that's good. Let's try some of these lentils. Just a little spoonful of them in the bottom of the bowl. Again, nice and soft. Oh, they're almost in like a gravy. That's whatever that pork is glazed in. There's been a spoonful of that put in with those lentils. And it's a really deep, salty, umami flavour. God, that's really tasty. That is so good. Let's try these. I'm guessing this is probably a little pickled celeriac or something like that. It is. A nice sharp whack of vinegar on there. And I can imagine if you're eating that together with the lentils, with the pork, that's going to cut through some of that richness. And we'll go with some of this sauce stuff here, which again is, as I thought, like almost a foamy celeriac puree. Right, time to load up everything together. Now, we're going to try and do this a little bit more delicately than I normally would, because we are somewhere posh, aren't we? So, we're going to get some of the pork cheek, some of the lentils, a little bit of that pickled celeriac, and some of that kind of foamy, saucy celeriac puree. That is a delight. That is absolutely delicious. It's really, really tasty. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, enjoy.
The combinations of flavours here are great. The celeriac does have a pronounced celery flavour, but it goes so beautifully with the other flavours in here. When you combine them together, you kind of lose some of the celery element of it, because you've got some really bold, punchy flavours in with the lentils and in with the pork. And then the vinegar on that pickled celeriac just cuts through everything. This is a beautiful and clever dish. I've got a big smile on my face looking at this. When you order something that's described as a cod and clam chowder, I bet you're not expecting something that looks like this. So apparently we have the chowder at the bottom, which is this kind of green thing, and there's a potato and leek crush underneath, cod fillet, cod mousse, which is made out of the other bits of the fish there, a little crostini, a little bit of lemon zest and all that sort of stuff on the top. What a beautiful, beautiful looking plate of food that is. Now, the people who criticised me when I went to Tom Kerridge's fish and chips in Harrods and kind of praised his 9 chips for £9 or £10, whatever it was, I can't remember now. Here, I have got a grand total of 6 chips for a tenner. It's mad, isn't it? I was talking to the serving staff here, who, by the way, are absolutely superb. Next level good. Really, really polite, really attentive. Good sense of humour with them too as well. Anyway, they were explaining this process to me. It's a 3-day process to make these chips, involving slicing, cooking them in cream, sort of dauphinoise style, pressing it, chilling it, chopping it, frying it. And I gotta say, they look like a work of art. They really do. I'm gonna try this greenery at the bottom, this green sort of chowdery soupy bit. That has got a really, really fresh taste to it. Oh my goodness. It's herby, but fishy. You've got the clam flavour, that seafood flavour coming through. But it's smooth as smooth can be, and packed full of flavour, even though it's delicate. I know that kind of almost sounds like a contradiction, but it really is. That is so tasty. So let's dive into this pile of stuff that's in the middle. Like I said, we have some lemon zest, we have the crostini here, the cod fillet, which looks beautifully cooked. Goodness me. All wrapped in leek there, a little potato crush. Here we go. Oh, that cod is just flaking apart wonderfully. Great big chunky flakes. Look at this. Just cooked. Just. So it's lovely and moist. Where the lemon has been on there, the lemon zest, you're picking up that lemon flavour from there. And a little hint of that leek too. Let's get some more of the leek from the outside of this little parcel. Get it all in together, shall we? A little bit of the potato crush underneath. Like I say, the flavours are really delicate, but they just marry together so beautifully. And it's clever, you know, using leek as the onion element in this, because it's not going to be as punchy as onion would be. God, yeah. The little bits of lemon, I really like that, because that is actually quite a sharp, punchy flavour. And that provides an interesting contrast against the delicate flavours elsewhere. The chef who runs this, a guy called Tom Booton, is actually the youngest head chef in any restaurant in the history of the Dorchester. And they've actually got a young team here. He's 33 years old and he's the oldest person who works in here. The manageress of the floor, not 30, all the staff in their sort of even late teens, early 20s. They've obviously been very well trained. They're very smartly presented. This is one of the best meals I've had the pleasure to eat. Not just on this channel, but anywhere. It really is. I've put this off long enough. We need to get onto these chips. We have a watercress mayonnaise here, which in fact I'm going to try first by itself. I like watercress. I like that peppery element to it. Again, very, very smooth. The watercress, I mean, you can see how vibrant and green this is. There's a fair amount of it in there, but it's not overpowering. Here we go. Come on. Come on. In we go. That is next level good. Again, I'll try and bring it close enough for you to see. Inside there, you can see the layers of potato, the way they've cooked it. Obviously, they're very uniform because of the process they've been through. They're able to precisely cut them to the shape they want to. The outside, beautifully crispy. The inside, soft, creamy, buttery. And then you get this this mayo as well, this watercress mayo. Wow. 6 chips for a tenner. Worth every penny. Isn't this just the poshest McDonald's pudding you've ever seen? It's a bit like their apple pie and a McFlurry, isn't it? But this is a rhubarb pie here. Really crispy looking pastry there. Sugared on the outside. Got a feeling that's going to be really rather hot inside. And here we have the soft serve ice cream with pieces of rhubarb there, tarragon leaves, and there's a little kind of sauce underneath. Again, rhubarb, sugar, syrup, that sort of thing. God, where do you start with this? I think I'm going to start with the ice cream. Like I say, I think this is going to be a bit hot. So it's rhubarb and vanilla ice cream. You've got tarragon leaves on there as well. The tarragon with that aniseedy flavour and that rhubarb is a really interesting combination. The ice cream is as smooth can be. It's like the world's greatest chef made a Mr. Whippy. That's so good. As regular viewers of the channel will know, desserts aren't always my thing, but rhubarb is something that always tempts me. Let's see if I can get a little bit of this syrup from underneath as well. Yeah, so that's just sweet rhubarb syrup there. That's just delicious. Okay, onto the rhubarb pie. Like I say, this is in a pastry case, sugared, deep fried. I think it's just something you go with your hands, even somewhere posh like this. Oh yeah, I can't really show you inside it, it's a bit difficult, but you can see the layers of pastry there. It is like a really high class version of a McDonald's apple pie. You can probably hear the crunch just from the outside of that pastry and the sugar crystals that are on there too. When it comes to desserts, I quite like traditional ones. You've all seen me eat a sticky toffee pudding before, and a crumble. But it's an area where, in certain restaurants, it allows the chefs to play with some creative ideas, doesn't it? And that's what they've done here. They've obviously gone, you know, and picked the idea of like a soft serve ice cream or a McFlurry or something like that, and the apple pie, and just decided, let's try and do something clever with that idea. And boy, have they succeeded. What I like about this, because you have got that sugar on the outside, they've left the inside quite tart. It's not overly sweet on the inside. So you do get that balance. It's not too sweet as a whole. And you know me, when it comes to ice cream and hot desserts as well. That sort of hot and cold combination is something I really like. Okay, you're going to have to leave me alone now, because I need some time to enjoy this. That's just banging. Right in, folks. I've come across the road from the Dorchester. You might just about be able to see it in the background there. Into Hyde Park to sum up. My goodness me. What a great lunch I just had. Absolutely fabulous. Let me run you through the bill. Now, obviously, we had the set lunch. That was £45 for the 3 courses. Chips, additional tenner. A bit of an extravagance, but by God, they were good. And the one thing that's probably taken the mickey a little bit, 750ml bottle of sparkling water, £9. £9 for a bottle of water. I mean, we are in the Dorchester, I suppose, so it is what it is. Let's talk through that menu though. The starter with the pig cheek, the lentils and the celeriac. What a great combination. Kind of wintry flavours, but still nice and light. Punchy where it needed to be. And that celeriac little foamy sauce thing was just great. The main course, that clam and cod chowder, nothing like I expected it to be. Pretty as a picture, vibrant colours, nice and delicate, and that little punch of lemon in there really, really livened everything up. The dessert was the star though. Oh my goodness me. They do different ones for different times of year. They've had an apple crumble one, they do a strawberry one, they do a raspberry kind of pimsy one. Oh, I'd come back just to eat the dessert, I think. It was just really playful, a great little take on, you know, like a McDonald's kind of thing. Really enjoyable. The other stars of the show there were the staff. Oh my goodness me. Sometimes you'd expect to go to a place like this and it would be a bit stuffy maybe. Not a bit of it. Some of the most engaging, chatty, fun, vibrant staff I've come across. They're all youngsters. Like I say, the head chef in there, Tom, is the oldest person who works in that whole section, and he's only 33, a mere boy by comparison to me. But yeah, all the staff there, really, really well trained, on point, and just engaging folk. Really, really nice to deal with. The bill. 45 for the main course, 9 for the water, 10 for the chips. That's a total of £64. There's a 15% service charge here. But do you know what? I'd have paid that anyway for the service I've got. So in total, we've got £73.60. Now I know I'm kind of saying you can come in here and eat for 45 quid. Well, you can, if you just have a glass of tap water and you don't order chips. Oh, and you don't pay the service charge, but you get the point. You expect if you're going to come somewhere like here, I mean, they've got a 3-star Michelin star place in there, Alain Ducasse's place, and you're looking at 300, 400, 500 quid a head to go in there. This is a lot more affordable. It still feels luxurious. It's great. When am I going to score it? Well, do you know what? I am going to be that tiny, tiny little bit picky because I think 9 quid for a bottle of water anywhere is taking the mickey a little bit. So we're going to take off 0.1 of a point for that, but it makes it a 4.9 out of 5. Does it get Greeno's green light? Absolutely, all day long. Do you know what? I wasn't sure about coming here whether I'd feel out of place, but I didn't at all. I loved it, and I'll be back. Right then, folks, if you've enjoyed this video looking at The Grill by Tom Booton here in the Dorchester in London, swanky old place for Greeno, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me, it does help the channel. And if you're new around here and you've enjoyed this video, take a little look around the vault, see what else you like, and if there's a few things there, why not consider subscribing, ding your bell for notifications, all that stuff us YouTubers love you doing. Right, where to now? Not sure, but I bet it's not as posh as this. I'll see you next time, folks.